Good morning, man. Welcome to my first video of circles versus lines. Iron sharp as iron. I thought I'd start making videos of everything I've been going through, and maybe it could give somebody some advice, on the things I've learned and the things that helped me and hurt me. One of those things is that you have to bear in mind that not everyone is your friend, and not everyone is your ally. This world is run by extremely wicked people, and the thing is that, like in my case, I'm waiting to go to court for harassment and taking of my property, mainly my weapons that I had in my home that the police came in and took without a warrant, and I'm being harassed by white people, white students from a school across the street from my home, and it's been going on for a very long time, almost 10 years, and they fear me because I'm a disabled veteran, and sometimes they shout out racial epithets at me, and I shout back, and they trespass on my property, walking across my lawn to get to the school, and sometimes at high speeds drive across my driveway. I have a corner house, and this has been going on for a very long time. So today, I've been giving a notice to appear in court today at 10 o'clock about that same situation. They want to extend a risk protection order for the third time, for the third year. This will make the third year. And even though I've had psychological testing and lie detector tests that say I'm telling the truth, and the psychiatrist saying that I'm no harm to anyone, they still dance around and say, "Oh, you're dangerous." And at one point, the deputy attorney called me a murderer. And most times when I go into court, the police chief or the lieutenant asks me to purchase my property. So I don't really think they're gonna give me back my stuff. They want to keep it and go through this kind of like merry-go-round of legality and process, to keep it, and just tell me, all kinds of lies and say this and that, when in actuality they already kept it. I mean, they don't care if you come to show up, and they're gonna tell you the same thing and move the goalposts and gaslight you, to keep your things. So that's my advice. Is why I started this channel in the first place. Is that a circle of your own people being together versus the line that's drawn by your enemies is more stronger. You have to sharpen your tools, your mentality, your emotions, your spirituality, your physicality. You got to sharpen it against other people who are going the same thing, your own people. Because the end is coming. World War III is right in front of the door. And we're going into a new kingdom, a kingdom of the Israelites. And you need to repent and follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Almighty, the Most High, Yahweh, and follow the Lord, Yahweh Shai. I have to be there at 10 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock. I guess I'll update you on what happens afterwards. I'm trying to prepare myself mentally and physically to be stoic and strong, not showing emotion, because that's what they want. They're very evil and wicked and disrespectful. The same people who omit things from the original transcript of the last time I was in court and remove things from it, like calling me a murderer and bearing false witness to that. Imagine a person like a deputy attorney calling you and shouting out to you, calling you a murderer, knowing the power that she has as a white woman. This happened before in the past with white women in their white tears and blaming people of color of things that they never done, like Emmett Till. And the woman who did that and lied is still alive to this day, and she admitted that she lied. And the two men that killed Emmett Till never went to jail. So imagine a white woman who would just blurt out and call you a murderer. And I asked her to apologize for calling me that in court, and she refused. The power that she has could jeopardize my freedom, not getting my property, even taking my children away and my life. For her to say that, I'm sure she had harsher words to say than just calling me a murderer in mine. Some racial epithets and bywords that she wished she could say to me. But I guess murderer was just the best that she could say publicly. And they omitted that from the transcript that when they sent me to my house to extend the risk protection order. They omitted that. But these are the same people I have to rely on to get my property back and get justice, who omit things, take my things without a warrant. Baker Act me, sexually assault me. These are the people I have to depend on and rely on for fairness and justice. And already did a risk protection twice already, and this will be the third year that they will have my property. These are the people I have to rely on. I sincerely doubt I'm going to get my property back this morning. They're just going to lie and move the goalpost and accuse, because they have a perpetual hate. They have a tremendous amount of hate. And it all falls back to what they did to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in slavery, and even farther back with Jacob and Esau. I mean, I think that this woman, this white woman, who was sitting in an air-conditioned office while I was in the military for 20 years, disabled, retired, defending her freedom, will call me a murderer with no proof. And I'm thinking, you know what? If you want to see a murderer, a real murderer, go home, go to the bathroom, close the door, and look in the mirror. You have the blood of your ancestors in you, of murderers and rapists and thieves that enslaved and killed and kidnapped and raped millions of people for 500 years to this day. As you can see, they bombing people in Israel to oblivion. And they can't stop it. Those are the real murderers. You have the blood of murderers in your body and rapists and thieves. But you want to call me a murderer? I don't have anything to my name. The real murderers have their face on the money. The real murderers run the government that assassinate leaders and demand that they fly their rainbow flags and sanction their countries to not get aid. They so worried that I'm going to shoot up a school across the street, while the majority of people who shoot up schools are white people. Not only did they do that, they statutorily raped them. They convinced them to accept homosexuality, embrace pedophilia, and transgenderism, even giving them permission as a child to decide whether they're a boy or girl and chop off their breasts and their genitals. But somehow I'm a murderer. Can you please explain that to me? Please. That doesn't make absolutely no sense. When was the last time you ever heard of a black man shooting up a school? Or a Hispanic man? Or a Native American man? The only people that shoot up schools and dollar stores and churches are white people and transgender people who are also white. But you just have to sit there and take it, and their disrespect and abuse, and not react, and somebody vandalizing your home, trespassing and calling you all kinds of names and smoking drugs across the street from your home while your children are playing outside, and driving across your driveway at high speeds and walking across your lawn just to get to the other side. You just have to take it. You just have to shut up and take it, because you should be glad that you're there. They teach their kids this. They teach their children to hate. That's why it never ends. It's like it's as if hate was a flower and their perpetual hate was water. Once you stop watering it and hating, it dies. But they will never stop watering it. They nurture it because that's who they are. They get so much benefit from hating and oppressing other people of other nations and ethnicities. They never gonna stop. They could look at you in the face and say, "Oh, we love you" and everything, and their words are smooth as butter. But when they get home, oh, these people are taking all the jobs. They bringing all the guns and drugs here. They're on welfare. 13% of the population is doing that, but they encompass more than 50% of the prison population. And you really believe that? You really believe that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans bring drugs here, weapons, on welfare, take all the jobs? This is what white people really believe. And they perpetuate this hoax because they have to create a narrative to keep themselves on top. Whether it's fictional or true or lie or whatever, something has to be placed there to give them a sense of excuse for what they're doing. Even though they know that it's pure injustice and make up decrees and laws right off the top of their head in real time. But you just have to accept that. You just have to accept that because, hey, we run this stuff. They're not going to tell you that outright. It's showing you. And the sad thing is that they teach their children this, and then they spreading like a virus to other countries and forcing them to accept homosexuality, pedophilia, transgenderism, or we're going to sanction you, or we're going to assassinate your leaders, or bomb the hell out of you. But somehow you're the murderer. It doesn't make any sense. This is their kingdom. This is their world. That's why the Bible says that this is their kingdom. This is their heaven. And for everyone else and every nation out there, this is our hell. This is like a living hell. I mean, it has to be because these people poison the food, the water, the air on purpose and poison your bodies with vaccines and everything. But somehow I'm a murderer. The richest country on the planet, the exceptional high technology, and this is how the world is. With fake food, chemicals in the air, chemicals in the water, fluoride. But somehow you're the murderer. I don't run this world. I don't run the economy or anything like that. But they can sit there and look at you straight in the face and accuse you of being a murderer. You can't make this stuff up. They're literally destroying the planet and people on a global scale, but somehow you're the problem. I've never gone to the school. They always come to my property. But somehow it's all my fault. It's unbelievable. So I stopped to give my first video for this channel. Circle versus lines. And iron sharpens iron. I hope that what I'm saying and what I'm going through gives you advice and what I'm going through and what the world is going through and what's going to happen in the future. We will have World War III. We will have a nuclear war, and we're closer to it than ever before. I mean, celebrities are building bunkers. Mark Zuckerberg built a bunker in Hawaii, and others. They know. They're in the know. They know what's going on. But somehow, people who have no money, no food, no nothing are the enemy. And just going about life and not trying to keep a low profile and not triggering the white people because of your skin color and your economic status. Imagine you walking around people who have baseball caps with the Confederate flag on their hat, calling you the N-word, go back to Africa and all that. But somehow you're the bad guy. You're the enemy. This country is drenched with the blood of Native Americans, my people. I'm an Arawak Taino Indian. My people were enslaved first before the Negroes, and taken to Spain by Columbus and the conquistadors. And then they took them from West Africa, killing hundreds of millions. They killed 80 million of my people and 100 million of their people. Stealing their gold, their silver, their diamonds, every resource that you could possibly imagine. And then on top of that, the audacity, adding a cherry on top, they enslave you. Not for a year, for 500 years. And then kill your kids by smashing their heads on rocks, raping them, hanging them, burning them, throwing them to alligators. But somehow you're the murderer. You're the murderer. You can't make this stuff up. When did we ever do that to white people? Never. But I'm a murderer. I have the last names of the Spaniards, of my oppressors. But that's the whole purpose of circle versus lines. They drew the line in the sand and said, you know what, you're nothing but garbage to us. Yeah, we gotta put up with you. You're around us, and and everything, but that's about it. Gotta be around your own people, around your own culture. And we tried that many times, and what? They burn it down. They burn our communities and everything, and they know that once we have a foothold in taking care of ourselves, it's over. I mean, if you could work on a plantation for like 500 years. Imagine what you're going to do once you're free and build your own towns, cities, banks, and everything. I mean, you're going to go sky high. I mean, we had Black Wall Street, and the majority of our towns were destroyed and submerged into man-made lakes. But it's in their best interest because they have to keep us down because this is their heaven. If we succeed and we prosper, they won't have a heaven. So if this is their heaven, this is our hell. And it is. I mean, they kill their own people on a global scale. Not to mention other nations. They kill them, bomb the hell out of them, take their land, take their resources, and then they kill their own people. But somehow that's your fault. You got to take the blame for that. Because they can't accept that shame and look at each other and say, hey, we're that bad. And they know they are. They know they're the wicked, the evil, Esau, the sword, the abominations that cause desolation, the Edomites. Everything that you could possibly think of that's bad and wicked, that was named for them by the creator of the universe, is them. And they know that. They know that fully. I mean, they could pretend or whatever. They won't take accountability of the evil that they have and who they are and the wickedness. They will not take accountability for that. They know they are doomed people and they say, hey, we just go with it. We just run with it. Just live it up as long as we can, and then at the end, it's over. They can't preserve themselves because they're trying to interrace and have children with people of different ethnicities and everything. They so desperate. They want to preserve their race so much to get into the kingdom of heaven, and it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be actually removed from our own bodies by the Lord. It's like living with a bunch of psychopaths, a bunch of narcissists that gaslight you and tell you, hey, it's your fault. It's your fault that I'm upset, that I have to put a hand on you. And they teach their children this stuff. It's unbelievable. You call it out, somehow you're the bad guy. You try to defend yourself, you're the bad guy. Like in slavery, when they used to make up made up medical terms for slaves running away, trying to escape. Oh, you're crazy. You're this term or whatever. You must be crazy because you're running away. It's your nature to be enslaved. You must be crazy. So if you don't like this and you don't want to put up with this and you defend yourself and you uphold your dignity and your ethics and you don't want to be humiliated and disrespected by these people, you're somehow, you're crazy. You have to be put in an asylum, Baker acted or whatever. You have to see a psychiatrist. You have to be jailed. They have to do a whole thing of medical examinations on you because you must be crazy. Because you're supposed to take it and not complain. And I'm just going to court and see what happens. most likely it might be extended and everything, because psychiatrist says that he's no harm to anyone. I took a lie detector test and says yes, he's being harassed, he was sexually assaulted, passed. But they don't care about that. They wanna get the spoils of war and provoke you and drag out your misery, because they want to make an example out of you because you had the audacity to go against their ideals. So they want to punish you. So that's why I'm going through this morning, September 4th, 2024. And I got to be there at 10. It's now 9:23. I'm close by. So if you could learn from me and what I'm going through, it's no wonder, I don't even care if the Lord forces the white man to press that button to drop the nukes. I don't even care now. Probably from Russia. They got bombs that can obliterate the United States with just 2 of them. And they just opened their vaults and showed that we are the real Israelites, the real people of the Bible that was made for us, that was written for us. We are the children of God. And that burns them up, and they hate it, and it aches them, and I mean, they really hate that. They can pretend, and they don't know what's going on. I mean, they know fully what's going on. Don't let them fool you. And that's why they created these religions, and there was a letter from King Leopold II when he took over the Congo, and he wrote a letter to the Christian missionaries, right? Yeah, Christianity was created to brainwash the nations, and he was emphasizing that. He was saying, brainwash them, don't give them nothing and everything. Continue preaching. It's good to be poor, it's good to be oppressed and everything. And be beaten and everything. All that. In a letter to these missionaries, and a letter was found in an old Bible that somebody bought, and that was in there, the audacity. So it confirms it, what their agenda is. They know that they perched on top of us like a damn vulture, and they know that they have to keep us oppressed so they can hold on to the little benefits that they have, which is not even much. And even with all this power that they have, they still fuck up the environment, the children. They have no ethics or nothing. You would think if you had all this, you would like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, we're gonna show people, nope. They are the source of evil. As a matter of fact, that's their name in the Bible. Wicked. They're the wicked. They're the enemy. Those are their names. I'm not kidding. They're the devil that the Bible speaks of. No, it's not a guy with horns or anything like that. Devil means deceiver. And they've been deceiving since day one. So, like I said, I have my lie detector test that I took. I passed. Here's one of the questions. Have you been harassed by your neighbors since 2015 with vandalism and racial slurs? Yes. Pass. Question 2. Do Seabreeze students harass you, drive through your yard, and throw trash in your yard? I said yes. I passed. Question 3. Were you sexually assaulted by a police officer twice at the Justice Center? I said yes. I passed. Question 4. Were you accosted at Publix by a person and told to stop and get back? Because he wanted to attack us, and I was concealed carry. I put my right hand on my weapon and my left hand out, and I told him, get back, leave us alone. And I was there with my ex-wife and my 2-year-old child in a stroller. He was approaching us angry with his fist balled up like he wanted to fight me, and I put my hand on my weapon and my left hand out, and I said stop, while his girlfriend was in front of him pushing him in his chest, telling him to stop as well. I said yes, and I passed. And it says no stress indicated. I was truthful. And then I wrote, I was responding to the extension of the risk protection order, part 3. Because this is the 3rd time. So all this I got to turn in. All this. All this. I have the receipt here that I took it. And I wrote in the front these questions. I am being harassed by question 1, I am being harassed by my neighbors and school children since moving here in 2015. I am subjected to racial slurs and vandalism, as well as trespassers and cars parking and driving across my driveway at high speeds. Question 2. Students do drugs, drive at high speed, and put holes in the school fence, give the middle finger, and throw trash in my yard. Number 3. I was sexually assaulted twice by police officers at work because of my race. 4. I almost was attacked by an irate young man with his girlfriend holding him back at Publix while my ex-wife and my baby, I had to tell them to stay back and place my left hand out and my right hand on my concealed carry weapon. That's the world I live in. And I have to go to court because they feared me and what I have, my concealed carry weapon and all that, and they fear me. I don't go to them, but they fear me. They do all this stuff, but they fear me, and I'm a murderer. You just have to put up with it and take it. All that. And I have to put my hands in a sense of justice and fairness in the hands of people that do that. They have a transcript of the last time I was there, and they omitted everything in there where she was calling me a murderer. I was looking for it. I said, I want to see the part where she was calling me a murderer and yelling out. I'm sure she wanted to call me the N-word or anything else derogatory, but, you know, she knows they record stuff there. And they omitted it out. The people who are so scared and clutching their pearls and scared, oh, you're gonna shoot up a school and all this and everything, omit stuff out of the transcript. So there's no real justice. You're gonna take out things that helps them, that suits them. They're gonna go to your house without a warrant and take your property. They're gonna bicker at you because they think you're crazy and you served the military for 20 years and you want to defend your home from racist children who got their ideology from their parents. You want to protect your home from vandalism and trash and drugs and everything. But you're the crazy one, you're the murderer. So I wanted to say that. It's already 9:33. I better get going. And just remember, you're in the kingdom of the wicked, and it's only going to get worse, further, more proxy wars and everything, you know, and worse economy and everything. And this is all deliberately giving migrants EBT cards with $20,000 on it, have to pay rent for like 2 years. Yeah, this is their plan. They know exactly what they're doing. So this is Mike with my new channel, my first video for circle versus lines and iron sharpens iron. I pray, brothers and sisters, that the Lord watches over you and you repent and you follow his commandments. And I'll talk to you soon.